I'm Chris Carlson with the Seaman Weekly News for Thursday, February 7th, 2002. There's been a lot of interesting things happening around Seaman High School this past week. Let's take a look at some of them.
Thanks, Chris. Hello, I'm Ken Hearn, Superintendent of Seaman USD 345. I'd like to share with you some information about issues concerning Seaman schools. Building understanding and support for high-quality education requires that we focus on teaching every child in the district the appropriate curriculum. We must be held accountable to students, staff, and community members in order to meet the goal of school improvement. To build this support requires student achievement, staff development, and public engagement. Student achievement is the first component of our school district's focus on school improvement. In order to increase achievement, students have many learning opportunities in addition to the regular school day. Seaman Elementary School programs include a partnership with Washburn University here in Topeka that fosters a collaborative community of learners. Students, staff, and administrators are involved in teaching and learning through clinical preparation. This focus benefits all learners through small class sizes, long-term inquiry, and reflection on the teaching process. The junior high schools give additional help to any student not satisfactorily completing daily assignments. Secondary students use a computerized directed studies program to focus on specific problem areas and increase their performance in the regular classroom. Even suspended secondary students go into a program of studies outside of the regular school day for an opportunity to gain 1 to 3 mandated graduation requirements. By completing these assignments, students get daily feedback in subjects that they deem important to success in later life. Students grow and thrive academically in these programs, making them well worth the added cost to the school district. The Seaman staff has been charged with developing benchmarks and testing procedures that will guarantee that what is being taught in our district meets or exceeds the state curriculum standards. Staff members collaborate on strategies to improve student achievement based on their assessment of the needs in their particular building. Our evaluation system guarantees that all staff members and administration in the district are focused on teaching the curriculum and student achievement. Parents are a vital part of this achievement process and assist in collaboration of results with students and staff in each building. Staff development is the next important component of school improvement. Our staff development committee is made up of classified and certified employees, administrative staff, Board of Education members, and patrons from school building site councils. The Seaman District believes that in order to keep exceptional teachers, a strong program of support must be in place. A well-developed in-service program will increase job satisfaction and promote greater involvement with the culture of the district. And to meet these needs, the district, through the Staff Development Committee, has instituted a comprehensive in-service program that assists teachers in the school improvement process. We provide staff in-service on testing and assessments to make sure that we are meeting our curriculum standards. This year, the state of Kansas recognized the district for its Teacher Mentor program. Through this program, a teacher cadre has been organized to provide personal and professional support for novice teachers and teachers new to the district as they strive to improve teaching performance. Monthly meetings allow for discussion and evaluation of teaching strategies and ways to improve. Our program on school curriculum alignment was selected by the National School Board Association for presentation at their national convention this spring. At the beginning of the school year, an in-service was held that explained the directions and the details of the program. Then the cadre meets monthly to assess program progress and examine ways to improve it in the future. Further reinforcement is provided through our formal evaluation process. Our final focus on school improvement promotes public engagements. School improvement through student achievement and staff development cannot be accomplished without excellent communication with parents and patrons. Public awareness is the key to more targeted school improvement. The Seaman School Board promotes productive dialogue through public forums that allows community members to express concerns and questions about school procedures. Making sure that district policies reflect the values and concerns of patrons is an important component in school improvement. Listening to productive debate and using the information gained to focus the curriculum to reflect our community standards gives patrons an opportunity to participate in the education process. Patrons are generally hesitant to support policies that they do not understand. So the Seaman District provides many options for the patrons to ask questions and voice concerns. Through improved communication between community leaders and the general public, our district creates conditions for understanding and support of the school improvement process. Without this communication process, school administrators cannot select the right tools for teacher training. This constant sharing of information with patrons can provide excellent direction to improve instruction. As your superintendent, I think of myself as a bridge builder, a link between the professional staff and the community that balances conflicting issues to guarantee student achievement, appropriate staff development, and effective communication with the public. Recent polls conducted by the American Association of School Administrators indicate that high parental involvement is one of the best measures that a school has in providing a high-quality education. Surveys in the Seaman community indicate that 90% of those contacted felt that Seaman schools provided a very good to an excellent education. Other surveys conducted as part of the school accreditation process consistently reflect similar results. My job is to make sure that the school improvement is our #1 focus. In a country such as ours, it is important that students of all backgrounds are able to get a quality education. Through enhanced student achievement, directed staff development, and effective communication with the public, the Seaman schools will continue to educate your children to meet the challenges of the future.
That was a message from our superintendent, Dr. Hearn. Now let's go to Sarah Raymar for a look at some unusual events that have been happening at Seaman High.
As you walk through the halls at Seaman High School, you may see two of the same faces. Are you seeing things? No. You have probably just ran into one of the 11 sets of twins around Seaman. 9 of the 11 sets of twins are juniors. The number of twins we have at Seaman is overwhelming, considering only 2.9% of all births are twins.
Well, I understand there are 22 twins here, and that seems like an unusually high number to me. I don't know what that suggests.
Philip and Wayne Hyman, Mandy and Megan Lamberson, Kristen and Laura Barnaby, Chrissy and Danny Guzman, Amy and Andrea Broadbent, Richard and Roger Adami, Jennifer and Sharon Cook, Megan and Mindy McGilton, Rachel and Ryan Dagan.
No way. I thought I was just seeing double all the time, but now I realize there's just something in the water.
The number of twins here is just another example of how Seaman students make Seaman High School unique.
Whoa, that's kind of freaky. Now let's go to the civil and criminal rights story.
Most people think of discrimination. They think of a hatred everywhere. Stereotypes could be formed on the basis of someone's clique, income, or even who these people are friends with. Preconceived notions against someone who plays sports or someone who acts in theater is a form of discrimination called prejudice. Persecution of people against their beliefs or religion is yet another form of discrimination. These examples of discrimination haunt our America today.
Susan Sittenhauer has been teaching a civil and criminal rights class for 15 years at Seaman High. This class exposes students to information about people of different races, religions, and beliefs. Also, it informs students about their rights that are given to them in the First Amendment and awares them of their criminal rights.
My goal in teaching civil and criminal rights is threefold. The first purpose is to expose the students to the ideas of racism and prejudice and discrimination and stereotype, and to make them understand that stereotyping is something that we do that we don't even realize sometimes that we're stereotyping other people. The second part is in regard to the First Amendment, and this is covered. We cover freedom of speech and religion and petition and assembly and so forth, and we look at issues that involve students and prayer at graduation, moment of silence. There's a variety of issues in regard to censorship and school newspapers, and so we try and make it applicable to the person who's taking the class. And the third part of the class is in regard to criminal rights, which hopefully none of the students will ever have to deal with. But if, say, for example, you were pulled over and the police officer tried to arrest you, or that, how would you then know what is your right? In Miranda, everything from the time a person's arrested clear up to possibly through the trial.
On Wednesday, January 16th, the Civil and Criminal Rights classes taught by Sittenhauer traveled to TPAC to hear Dale Mad Dog Messmer give a speech as part of the Martin Luther King Jr. Living the Dream activities. His message was about the choices kids need to make and the consequences for those who make the wrong choices. He gave his own personal experiences of the wrong choices he made, such as committing armed robbery and drug trafficking.
Well, I learned all kinds of stuff about the law. If you're breaking one law, you're probably breaking more than one, actually. And it was good to hear about his experiences and like the stuff that the government took away from him because of the crimes he committed.
In a recent census survey, it shows that if the growth rate of certain ethnic groups stays the same, then in the year 2050, Asians, Hispanics, African Americans, and American Indians should approach 50% of the total population in the United States, which in essence will leave the whites at a minority.
As individuals, we can improve race relations by going out of our way to meet people of different cultures and religions and ethnicities, and we can communicate with them and learn about their culture. We can protest when we hear someone who tells a racist joke or a sexist joke. We can tell them we don't think that's funny and stand up for people. We can make sure that if someone's picking on someone else as a result of their being different, that we don't allow that to happen. As a society, obviously all those things, if all individuals were to do that, that would make society better, but our government also needs to stand up for those who are less fortunate or who are in the minority and make sure that their rights aren't being trampled on.
If this trend continues, many changes will be needed to be made in our society's level of tolerance for one another. Hopefully, people in our country will start making more progress to be able to cope with the upcoming differences in the future.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Now let's go to Scott Wells and Andrea Phipps for the recent Olympic torch relay.
We started our adventure at approximately 1 o'clock in the morning. The cold winter wind hit us with a blistering 28-degree temperature.
As we made our way through the J.M. Bowersfield's parking lot, we were astonished by the mob of people gathered around and underneath the tent that had been erected in the middle of the parking lot.
A giant bonfire had everybody toasty and warm against the winter weather.
A vocal band supplied the crowd with tunes and melody to get them through the sometimes lengthy periods of waiting.
Before we knew it, McDonald's had brought over hundreds of unbelievably good sticky buns. Hot cocoa and coffee were also distributed to the crowd.
It's exciting that the plane is coming to Kansas, and even though it's early in the morning, it's exciting to see it. And I have a special reason because I got a special Christmas gift for my son this year, and I'm going to the Olympics for the last 4 days. So this is kind of the start.
As we ate our sticky buns, we saw the crowd gathering towards Lyman Road for the parade. Red, white, and blue lights decorated vehicles as they drove past the crowd, enticing them with the arrival of the torch soon to come.
As we walked around, we noticed that many Seaman High students had gathered also that night to catch a glimpse of the Olympic torch.
It's really early, and I have to wake up, and then it's once in a lifetime.
As we moved to a different location, we noticed the crowd had gathered around Lyman and all the way around Kansas Avenue. Walking into Lyman Elementary, we found the relay runners socializing and mingling with the public. Ulysses Gonzalez had this to say.
I think it's shown a lot more of the unity of the United States. It brought us closer together. It's given us an opportunity to really reflect on what our great nation is about.
At approximately 3:48, the torch arrived.
Get it out! I say get over!
Here they are.
Woo! Let's get up for that torch man! Woo! Give it up!
She'll be coming up this way. She'll be like this. She'll be. Up, Mom.
You're crazy!
Thank you. Good. Are you warm?
Oh yeah! Back on the bus? Yeah. Okay, they're gonna pick you up right there. Take care. Come here, turn around.
It was a long night,
An early morning.
but it was truly a memorable moment for Kansans
And Topekans.
Thanks, Andrew and Scott, for that excellent coverage. Over the upcoming semester, we are going to be featuring different schools in the Seaman School District every week. Now let's go to Chris McColl and Steve DeForest for a look at Northern Hills Junior High School.
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Chris McCulloch for your Seaman High News. This second semester we're going to be taking a look at a different school in the Seaman School District each week. This week we've chosen Northern Hills Junior High School. Let's check it out. Northern Hills was constructed in the year 1963. Since that time, Northern Hills has become one of the top junior high schools with great classroom standards and nice facilities. The school consists of 7th, 8th, and 9th graders. With the freshmen staying down in the junior highs, it gives them more attention to getting a head start in their high school curriculum. It also has established itself as a top school on the field as well. Year in and year out, they have had excellent football, basketball, volleyball, and track programs. The facilities at Northern Hills are also newly renovated. A new track was added a couple years ago, along with a couple new scoreboards and a newly finished gym floor. Now here to talk about Northern Hills is their head principal, Bob Horton.
I think it's a learning environment that stresses high expectations. Our staff are very caring individuals. I think the students sense that. It's a difficult thing for a staff member to fake something like that. So I think they're very sincere, they're caring, but they have very high expectations of our students, and they have high expectations of themselves. And fortunately, when you have that combination, usually good things happen in your schools. Well, again, I think I'd fall back on a quality staff. I think one of the things that we think makes our school a good place to be is that we've got quality staff, we've got quality students, we have parents and patrons who care about education and who are very supportive of the teaching and learning process.
Well, Northern Hills turned out to be a pretty good school. I mean, look how good I turned out. Well, tune in next week to see our next School of the Week.
Thanks, Chris and Steve, for that excellent footage. This past month, the principal at Seaman High School, Dr. Roscoe, has accepted a position as Assistant Superintendent of the School District 345. Dr. Roscoe, all the students will miss you truly.
Since this is our last all-school assembly of the year, Student Council would like to recognize Dr. Roscoe. As most of you know, Dr. Roscoe took a position as Assistant Superintendent, and so this will be our last year, and we just want to wish her the best of luck. the opportunity to work with Dr. Orozco on a few committees and projects. Through working with Dr. Orozco, I have come to learn she possesses many admirable characteristics that we can all learn from. Her devotion to the students and faculty at Seaman High have truly made my 3 years at Seaman a wonderful experience. With the departure of Dr. Orozco, Seaman High is not only losing a beloved administrator, but a dear friend. I don't know how to turn on the microphone. What I really said was that I don't know how to thank all of you. And this is totally unexpected today. But this is exactly the kind of reason that it was so hard for me to make this decision to move to a different job. And I don't think that it didn't come without a lot of thought, because the students and the staff at Seaman High School are the most wonderful people in the whole world. They are truly incredible, and this is just the one small example of how wonderful you all truly are. Now, I'm going to be here for several months, and I'm looking forward to that time, and I'm looking forward to making this really, really even, I don't know how it could get any better than it's been the last set. Well, let me tell you guys about myself. I truly am dedicated to this district. I started out here 24 years ago. If you guys are good at math, you can kind of start adding that up. Don't do it. But I've been here 24 years ago. I worked at Northern Hills as a teacher and a coach, and I came here 15 years ago. And so 15 years of my life, which if you're good at math, that's about 1/3 of my whole life I've been spending here, loving working with everyone at Seaman High School. So I don't know what to say except thank you so very much, all of you. I love you all.
Now let's go to Rebecca Mueller for a midseason report with the girls basketball team.
Rebecca Mueller here with the girls basketball midseason report. The Lady Vikes started off the 2001-2002 season on a bang with a 61-45 victory over the Junction City Blue Jays. However, they would drop their next two games to Topeka West and Shawnee Mission Northwest, which were both very talented teams. To conclude their first 4 games, which were all away games, they traveled to Highland Park where they won 49-38. So in the Lady Vikes' first home game of the season, they took on a Hayden Wildcat team, which was ranked first in 4A. Although sluggish in the first half, the Vikes trailed 31-13 going into halftime.
Alex punked us out at halftime, and it showed in the third quarter when we finally pulled our heads up.
Senior Stephanie Herbster provided an offensive spark for Seaman as she scored 9 straight points to start the second half. The Wildcats then sent the game into overtime on free throws and would also win the game on a free throw. The ladies then got 8 days off for Christmas break before coming back to practice, which were 4 hours long. This prepared the Vikes for their first 2 games of 2002 against 6A powers Leavenworth and Washburn Rural. They showed a lot of heart and determination in the first half of both games, but looked timid in the second halves. They would lose both games by a close margin of points. On January 8th, they would travel to Emporia to take on the Spartans, who were also struggling to get back on the winning side. But this time, the Vikings came out on top as they won 56-51. Seaman shot over 50% from the field to even its league record to 2-2.
It was good for us to win because it was a great confidence booster.
Shawnee Heights would be their next opponent as the Vikes played Heights in a league matchup. They would win the first half, but lose the second and most important half. That game concluded the first half of the season, and next up was the Capital City Classic, or mid-season tournament. The first game scheduled of the tournament for the Vikes was against Shawnee Heights on their home floor. The Lady Vikes, Lady T-Birds would play each other twice in 4 days. Highland Park and Washburn Rural would be their next 2 games, as the Lady Vikes would come out of the tournament 1-2. 6 days later, the Lady Trojans of Topeka High would be the next team up. At 12-0, High was the only undefeated team in the city in both girls and boys basketball. Although the Vikes were at 4-8, they proved to be no match for the second-ranked team in Class 6A.
We came out really pumped up to beat Topeka High, and they came out thinking that they were going to beat us, but that just goes to show that you can never judge a team by their record.
With 10:46 to go in the game, the Vikes were up by 17 points. The Lady Vikes dominated the game and held the city's leading scorer, Crystal Kemp, to only 17 points.
And I think the Topeka High game gave our team the confidence that we've been looking for, because it was against a team that had been undefeated and had beaten everybody else in the city. We're city champions just last week, and we were able to go on their home floor and win a game. And it was a total team effort. People that came off the bench provided sparks. You know, people played hard, and I think it's the first time that I think some people stepped up and played harder than they had played before, and I think now they know they can do that, and they won't be as tentative to play that hard and just go out and leave it all on the floor, and I think that's what we did that night.
The final score was 56-51. The Seaman Lady Vikes hope to keep up the great team play as they finish out the rest of the season.
Now let's take a look at the upcoming events that are happening at Seaman High School next week. That's it for me. Be sure to watch the show at Sunday at 3, and we will see you next week. Bye.